This case is not about a cake. And this case is not about weddings. It's about the right of people to walk into a place of business and expect to receive the same service that anyone else is, regardless of who they are or who they love.
Colorado has really been at the forefront of United States Supreme Court cases dealing with LGBT civil rights. We started with the Romer versus Evans case, and now we have our masterpiece cake case. It's really come full circle to take us from, do we even have equal protection under the law, to where is that constitutional protection as it butts up against freedom of expression and freedom of religion?
Charlie and I were getting married. We were really exciting, and this particular day was actually really special because Charlie's mom was in town. She doesn't live in Denver, and this was literally her one opportunity to be involved in the planning of the wedding. So we went in, and the three of us sat down with the owner, Jack Phillips. He immediately asked who the cake was for, and when we said that it was for us, he immediately informed us that he would not provide a cake for a same-sex wedding. You know, this whole interaction couldn't have lasted more than 2 minutes. But the moment after that, there was just this horrid silence from everyone as what was happening really sunk in.
At the time that this happened to Charlie and Dave, the ACLU had been paying close attention to similar issues that were happening around the country. People being denied photography services based on their sexual orientation, or florists denying service. And when I saw that happen here in Colorado, I knew that we had a law that protected Dave and Charlie. So we reached out to them.
There were, I believe, 5 other couples in the previous, I think, 7 years that had been turned away from Masterpiece. They thanked us for what we were doing, for standing up to him.
I'm worried that this case could be a step backwards. We saw in the times of segregation where people of color were denied seats on buses, seats at lunch counters. And that's really what we're saying here. If we say, no, we're not all equal when we walk into a business.
This is important to me personally because as a straight woman, I can generally walk into a business and not fear whether or not I'm going to be turned away. And to see this sort of discrimination happen to my friends, my family, and my other community members, it saddens me deeply.
We filed a complaint with the Civil Rights Division simply asking that a law that was already in place to protect us be applied in this situation. We weren't trying to change the law.
And at every stage of the case, we won. At the CCRD, they found that there was discrimination. At the administrative law judge stage, they found that there was discrimination. And at the Court of Appeals in our state rejected the baker's defense that he has a religious right to discriminate.
I don't necessarily think that it's a smokescreen to cover up bigotry, but I think it asks a very important question. We all have constitutional protections in this country. We certainly have the constitutional right to freedom of expression, but we also have equal protection under the law. And it's important to make sure that when we're balancing out everybody's constitutional rights, that we're not doing so at the expense of one particular community, simply because they may not have been envisioned as part of those protected people by our founding fathers.
The zeitgeist right now is moving in this direction. It's moving toward more acceptance, more openness in society.
Our country, more than 50 years ago, enshrined in our laws that you don't have a right to discriminate against people based on who they are. And to see this happening to the LGBT community made me very angry, and it makes me very proud to represent Dave and Charlie in this case up to the Supreme Court.
So when they refer to the Trump administration and the documents that are filed against us, it's actually the United States. So it's really disheartening to hear the United States is against you.
You know what? If Donald Trump and Jeff Sessions hate us, yeah, we must be doing something right.
And in this case, the business owner is claiming a First Amendment right to discriminate against members of the public based on who they are. This could essentially give a right to a business owner to hang a sign that says, "We don't serve your kind here," and that wouldn't be limited just to the LGBT community.
To know that the government in this instance is actually against you is just scary. No matter how much anxiety you have the day before the Supreme Court, you go and you stand up for everybody. You know, you just don't get a choice. this entire time we've been trying to prove our love for each other and that our love matters and exists and should be protected. And that's not easy to do. So I feel like that's probably been our biggest challenge.
If we win, it affirms the fact that gay people deserve the same protections and rights as anyone else to be able to go about their day-to-day lives and not have to live in the fear that they're going to be denied service or lose their jobs or lose their homes simply for being who they are.